Hello there. I'm going to show you quickly how to change the oil and check your air filter on a go-kart. This happens to be a 6.5 horsepower Subaru motor, but it is very similar to Honda motor, Predator motor, and any other Chinese clone design. There are some similarities to a Briggs & Stratton motor as well. Let's get started. First of all, I'm going to show you how to check your air filter. It's very simple. It's usually under a little cover to the right of the muffler. Remove the little screw here. Remove this little cover. See, here's our air filter. As you can see, this one is in rough shape. The little foam piece all the way around the air filter needs to be replaced. So here's our air filter. The little foam piece here needs to be replaced. As for the rest of the filter, as long as it's not totally packed with particulate, you're in pretty good shape. If you do see a bunch of dust or debris in here, you can try using a vacuum, try and blow it out. Because a lot of times, especially for a Subaru motor, it's hard to find these air filters. For the Predator and other various motors, you can find them online pretty easily, but the Subaru one's not very easy. You want to check inside here, make sure there's no debris in there. So we got this little piece of filter. Drop that out. I'm just going to use this as it is until I can find a pre-filter to go around it. But that's how you check your air filter. Now I'm going to show you for this specific engine how to change the oil. You look to the front of the motor, down here if you can see, right down at the end of this trough there's a bolt. That's the oil drain plug. That is a 14 millimeter. You simply unscrew that and release the oil. Runs down the channel over there where I'm going to put a little bucket to catch the oil. We'll get to that in just a second. Alright, if you look right here, this is where your fill and your check, right here on this little gray handle. There's another one on the back side of the motor, but it's inaccessible. As you can see, we're a little nasty. Time to change it. So I'm going to just rest that back in there to keep it in a safe place. 14 millimeter wrench. Righty tighty, lefty loosen. As simple as just starting to unloosen this, like so. Try and get my big arm in here. Loosen this bolt. And I left this other screw open, the fill bolt open, to make it a little easier for the oil to run out. As you can see, there it goes. Right into the pan and on the floor, of course. I'll clean up my little bolt here. Get it all nice and shiny. Make sure there's not any trash on it, like parts of the motor, any chunks of just stuff. Make sure things are nice and clean. You want to try and change this oil, let's say once a season. Or say during the summer when you ride it most, twice a season. Or as soon as it starts turning black. Whichever comes first. So either once a season, or twice a season in the summer, or when it gets black. That's when you want to change it. She's about run out. Let that finish trickling, and then I'll get right back with you. Alright, that finished draining. I got my bolt back in. I snugged it up. You really don't want to make it super tight because you can strip out this magnesium. You just pull it, semi-tight, Pull it tight enough to where it doesn't easily come back out. It doesn't need to be deadly tight. Got a funnel in the fill hole. Have some oil here, 10W30. I'm going to start very slowly adding oil. And add, say, we'll start with 1/3 of a quart. See where that puts us at. Pull the funnel out, let it sit a minute, and check it with the dipstick. So we're going to start. I suppose you want to see that. Turn this over this way. You can watch me pour oil. And we'll start with about 1/3 of a quart. about like that. Let that sit a second. In the meantime, I'm going to clean off my little dipstick here. Specific to this dipstick for the Subaru, as you can see, has a hash mark on the bottom and a hash mark on the top. You want the oil to be very close to the top up here. Now, I'll get you down. You can see down here again. Move the funnel temporarily. I can go in the jerky tray. Shove my dipstick in. Screw it in. Screw it back out. We'll see where we're at. We have to add a little bit. So we're about halfway up. I don't know if you can see the glare. It's not wanting to focus. Yeah, you can see it's about halfway up the dipstick. So I'm going to add another 1/4 of a quart. We'll see where that puts us at. So I'll set this down. Grab my Earl. Add a bit more Earl. I'm down a little bit less than half a quart left in my bottle. So this motor takes about 3/4 of a quart of oil. So remove my oil fill. Let that drip all over the place. I'm going to insert my dipstick. Screw it in. Screw it back out, and we are right up at the top. You can see it. Now, in the meantime, while I go to fight to put that in, that is how you change the oil in a go-kart. Some go-karts are different, some it's easier to get to, some it's not, some have different motors. But that's a basic gist of how to change the oil and check your air filter in a go-kart. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and have an awesome day.